బుజ్జమ్మ, నేను బాత్రూమ్ లో ఉన్నా అని చెప్పు. బాత్రూమ్ లో ఉన్నాడని చెప్పొచ్చు కదా. ఏంటిది?
Yeah, morning guys. Good afternoon for someone. Okay. Did everyone join? 1, 2. Okay. So as discussed, we are going to start the. Yes, Adil. Yes, go ahead. Okay. Yeah, because it's always better you keep as many as JMS, because you know that not be clustered. So what they do is to make the availability. So they make multiple JMS servers. Suppose if one server is down, they can manually migrate to another JMS server. So that's why they try to keep as many as possible on each managed server, because they can't cluster it, right? So what they do is they are creating separate servers, but individually they will work separately. Okay, so that's why they keep different JMS servers and different managed servers instead of because you know that it cannot be clustered. Okay, one server cannot be hosted on different managed servers. Okay, so it's better to keep individual managed server with individual JMS server. Okay. Yeah, there's automatic is also there. So automatic is there. You can use migration, auto migration option is there, and when you are actually getting the material, you'll be seeing that auto migration option is there. So migratable targets, yesterday we have seen, right? So that option you can use that one. So it's a very big topic. Actually, you don't need it at this moment because you're just learning the things. So auto migration is there and manual migration is there. So you can do automatic migration using your migratable course. Today we'll see the clustering concepts. Okay, so we'll see the concepts today. So as you all know that the application needs to be handling with various scenarios like failures and the load balance. So high availability and the failovers should be maintained. Okay, suppose one server is down and the application is running on one machine. If the machine is crashed down or the server is down, so the client should not be disturbed. Okay, for that purpose, you will be clustering your managed servers. So that means what happens is your application will be deployed onto a cluster, not onto a individual managed server. Okay. So the advantage with this making the clusters is tomorrow if you add extra new machines, new managed servers into the cluster, so automatically that application will be deployed automatically onto the new managed servers into that particular cluster. So that's why they give more preference in giving in deploying the applications onto the clusters. Okay. Suppose at the moment today you have two managed servers in a cluster, for example. Okay. And tomorrow, now you have deployed an application of the cluster. Okay. Now tomorrow maybe you have added MS3 and MS4 into the cluster. Okay. So these two servers, okay, when they started first time and when they are attached to the cluster, what happens is the cluster will deploy whatever the applications that have been deployed onto the cluster. So they will deploy onto MS3 and MS. Okay, so that because we have deployed onto the cluster, not onto individual managed server. Okay, and as you know that we have high availability because we're already almost all are working in the real time and most of them into apps. So cluster is something like which provides you high availability and the load balancing. Okay, and this is not like a very typical rack environment or like that. So it's more easier than what you see in your rack environments. Okay, and see suppose I have managed servers are like this. Okay, and see here. And I have, for example, I'm taking another managed server here. Okay. Okay. So clustering is done two ways. Horizontal clustering and vertical clustering. So what is horizontal clustering and what is vertical clustering? Where we will be using these two types. Okay. So if the managed servers in that particular cluster are residing on the same machine, okay, giving their MS3, MS4, and I'm giving MS. Okay, so this is the scenario. Okay, if you see here, MS1, MS2, MS3 are on one machine. Okay, called MC1. Give me a second, please. So if you observe, two managed servers, that is MS1, MS2 are being in a cluster. So the oval shape, the one which I have rather than the oval shape. So it is one cluster, and MS3, MS4 are in one cluster. Okay. If you observe, so I say that if I make it, this is a cluster 1 and make it as a cluster 2, for example. Okay. So the cluster 2 and cluster 1. So cluster 1 is called vertical clustering. Okay, and a cluster 2 is called horizontal clustering. Where in horizontal clustering, the managed servers are spread over different machines. Okay, and in the vertical clustering, okay, the managed servers in the cluster are residing on the same physical machine. Okay, and horizontal clustering on vertical clustering also can be there. There is actually another thing called your hybrid clustering. So what is this hybrid clustering means? Suppose if you bring this MS3 into here, or sorry, MS4, MS3 is there, okay, and if you add MS1 here, so you have three managed servers in cluster 2. For example, now for example, I've added another cluster, for example. Okay, and make it as MS5, for example. Okay, now when I add MS5, this becomes a hybrid clustering. Why? Because this cluster has managed servers residing on the same machine as well as on the different machine. Okay, so MS3, MS5 are on the same machine, but MS4 on different machine. So that becomes a. So this scenario becomes as a horizontal clustering. Horizontal clustering is the better opportunity to give like high availability. If MC1 is down, your MC2 is still up and running, and so the connection, so the application will be handled over properly. Okay, and in the vertical clustering, the managed servers are the same machine. So if a machine failure is there, there is no failover concept, and so the application is not available. Okay, but the vertical clustering is useful in load balancing if you want to make only for load balancing. But failover concept, if you want to have, again, the best one is to use is your horizontal clustering, where if one machine is down, second machine should be up and running and should be available. Okay. Yeah. Now, how this communication is going to happen? Okay. So the communication in multicast, multicast. Okay. So the most of the time, the server should which server is running and which server is down. So for that purpose, what it does is it does a heartbeat check. As you know that it does a heartbeat check. So what happens is every 3 seconds of time it is going to ping to another managed server and check the status of the managed server whether it's up and running. So if it is not picking up the heartbeat, so it says that it's dead. So it should be able to fail over to another managed server. Okay, but how the heartbeat check is going to be happening between the managed servers in the cluster. Okay, that happens in two ways. One is a unicast, another is multicast. Okay, what is a multicast means here? So, for example, I have three manage servers are there. Okay, so everyone will be pinging up to each other. So that means all the three manage servers will be pinging to each other. Okay. It's vice versa. Okay. So I will say that here, like you can put the arrows instead of that one. Like this, for example. Also this way. Like this. Okay. So if you see here, MS1, MS2, MS3. So these three are being communicated to each other to check the status of each managed server. So this is the way they are going to do their heartbeat check. So this is called your multicasting. Say I'm here keeping it here 1, 2, and 3. Okay. So if you see here, there is a heartbeat check is happening every 3 seconds for every 10 seconds. Okay, between each managed server. Okay, and this makes your network channel busy. Why? Because if you see here, there are 6 network channels to be allocated. Okay, because 1-to-1 is there between each and every managed server. This is called your multicasting. But in the unicasting, what happens is there will be one leader will be there, group leader will be there, and he is going to take the leadership. Okay. So what it does is it is going to ping to the other members in that particular cluster. So the lead is going to take care of the other managed servers. Okay, who is up and running. So that what happens is if you see here, only 2 network connections are been enabled. So why? Because this 2 and 3 are not communicating with each other, and there is no reverse communication. Okay, so 1, 2, 3 are there. So one is going to get the status of 2 and 3. Okay, but there is no communication 2 and 3. No, it is not a admin. Admin cannot be a cluster, right? Admin will not be a part of the cluster. So obviously it will not be server. Okay. Yes, coming to that. Yes, suppose if one is down, so what it does is it is going to do a random leadership. So we'll come to that later. So what happens is, so if in case one is down, who should be the leader? Okay, that is automatically picked up by the managed servers. There is some concept application processing, that is we will see that one later. Okay, so if one is down, there should be someone taking care of the cluster. So obviously if one is down, the 2 will be automatically allocated, and if 2 is down, and 3 will be given the leadership. So this is, so how it becomes is it takes internally, there is an algorithm there. So the oldest survivor, that is whatever the managers are running for from a long time. Okay, that can be one of the scenario. And second scenario is we'll see that one. when we are going further, okay, not at the moment. So if one is down, there should be someone, so the two will become lead, and suppose one is up and running again back, so he will become a normal team member, and still the two will be the leader. Okay. So this is how the communication is going to happen between each individual managed servers in that particular cluster. Okay. So what happens is the communication is very less here. If you see here, six network channels to be allocated here, but here only two network channels are being used. Okay. And the other thing is here, the multicast is like a fixed IP range. Okay. 1 second, I'll tell you the range is there. And the unicast has been implemented only from the version 10.3.5, and it's been implemented by Oracle before 10.3.5, that is which is with BEA. So only multicast is there, and Oracle recommends unicast to be implemented in the real time in the production environments. And another disadvantage is here, all the managed servers should be in the same range. Okay, in this range, as well as they should be in the same subnet mask. Okay, so what is the subnet mask means that there should be in the same physical network. Okay, but in the unicast, the servers can be on different networks. Okay, so the communication happens, but in the multicast, so the server should be configured in the given range 224 to 239, and they should be on the same subnet mask. Okay, that means they should be on the same physical network. They cannot be spread over different physical networks. Okay, for example, I will show you. You might have known that one, right? For example, I'll take it in the virtual box. So we will see here if you can see any properties there. Yeah. So if you see here, for example, okay, I'll try to say, okay, you see here, says that subnet. Okay, so the subnet is here, your one. So it's like your physical subnet. So subnet gives you a physical address. Suppose if I make it as 136, for example, okay, so it won't make a error. That means that they should be in the same subnet mask. So physical network should be same. Okay, so that is our disadvantage multicast. So, but in unicast, so what happens is it gives you flexibility that you need not mention any specific port IP address also. Okay, then there is no need to have your subnet mask on the same physical network. Okay, so that gives you more enhancement, that is more flexibility that your managed servers can be spread over in a different machines. And the condition is here, the managed servers in the cluster should belong to the same domain. So you cannot include the managed servers which belongs to different domains. Okay, so that one you have to make sure that they belong to the same. So servers on different data centers can to use multicast. Yes. That as long as they are the same physical network only, they can be used. Okay. Okay, and so the condition is the managed server should belong to the same domain. They cannot spread over different domain. That means if you have a base domain, So you only are creating cluster. So one second, please. Hello. There was sir.
నిజమా?
Yeah, sorry for that. So that's the thing. So you have to use your, and the servers should be on the same patch set levels, and our admin servers, so the OS version as well as your WebLogic version should be more than your, the version should be higher than your managed servers. That's one of the thing you have to remember. Okay, and today we'll see a simple way to create your clusters. But so you can see the main use of this one when we are actually implementing your cluster with multi-node system as well as with your proxy. Okay. So the first thing is the managed servers in a cluster. Okay, they should belong to only one domain. Okay, that means the cluster to implement. So the cluster resource, that means whatever the managed servers in the cluster, they should belong to the same domain. Okay, you cannot cluster the servers which belongs to multiple domains. And the second thing is the patch set levels and the WebLogic server version levels should be higher for your admin server than your managed servers. It should be at least equal or more. You cannot have lesser patch set levels of your OS. At the same time, the WebLogic server version should be at least equal or more than your, because it's a backward compatibility. Okay, suppose your admin server is running on a machine where your WebLogic server policy is running. Okay, because there it might be having some extra features, but your managed servers can be running on your 11G, but it's not a vice versa. Okay, so the thing you should take care of it. Okay. Okay. So today we'll see how to do your clustering, but the real scenario we can see only when you are actually using your multi-node system. So which we are going to see it once we are done with the concepts, and we will see the combination of your proxy. So you'll do your proxy only. You will know that instead of suppose if I shut down my MS1, but still my application will be running on MS2. So those things we'll be seeing later stage. And the one more thing is there. So you might be asked, like, suppose in the middle of an application execution, suppose it is MS1 is down, but how that application is being handled by MS2. Okay, so we'll see that concept tomorrow. Today we'll see how to create the clusters. Okay. Suppose MS1 is down, and how is in the middle of your application? So which is actually very, very important, because if you don't have that, so the application should not be get down. And second thing is there should be some mechanism where my stopped on MS1 and MS2 should pick up the application where your MS1 stopped. It should not start from the starting of your application, right? Suppose you have 10 lines are there, 10 lines of code is there in the application. MS1 is done where your fourth line is executed. So from fifth line, the execution should start on MS2. So how it is taken care. So that's the important thing. We'll see tomorrow. Okay. So how the managed servers are taking that in the cluster. Okay. So then you will see that, okay, if MS1 is down, who is going to take care of your MS2? So how it is going on, we'll see tomorrow. Okay. So today we'll see how to create the clusters. Okay. So in environment you will see clusters. Okay. And as you know that we have government a single machine, it's not a multi-node. So you have MC1 is there in that machine one. You have two managed servers. So here we are going to do a vertical clustering at the moment. Okay, MS1 and MS2 belong to the same physical machine. Okay. So now how we are going to do is go to clusters, log and edit, and create new. So now we are going to create a new cluster. So I make it as cluster 1 and messaging mode communication should happen whether it's unicast or a multicast. So unicast you need not to specify anything, it will take automatically. And the multicast you have to give the multicast address and the IP address, port address. So generally we go for unicast where it dynamically allocates because there is no restriction for the subnet mask here. Okay, say okay. Now say activate changes. The cluster is created. Click on the cluster 1. And here, if you see here, go to servers. And now you can add servers here. So there are two ways you can make use of the cluster. Create a cluster, add servers to it, or go to a server, okay, and add the server to a cluster. So we'll see both ways. So now say log and edit. I'm going to add one server. Click. Add. That means see here your admin server is not here. So basically you will now get to know that you cannot cluster an admin server. So pick up your MS1 and now you are adding. So if you are see here your servers in the list, there is MS1 there. Now say activate changes. So this is one way we went to cluster. In the cluster we added server. Now we are going another way. See here, you can see it here. It belongs to a cluster. Okay. Now go to MS2 and say login edit. And then you can see a column called cluster parameter. It's like attribute. Then you can see that cluster one there. So now what happens is you are adding a server into a cluster at the server level. Okay. Now say activate changes. Go servers. You can see that. Okay. And in the clusters you can see here. Click on the cluster one. Go to servers. You can see to at any moment you can add or remove. Okay. How to deploy? So the deployment could take.
ఓకే ఎందుకు ఆయిల్ పెట్టుకుంటా ఇప్పుడు నూనె పెట్టుకుంటున్నా నూనె కొబ్బరి నూనె పెట్టుకుంటున్నావా జుట్టుకి
Okay. So at the moment what I'm doing is I'm just installing it. I'm going to deploy it again. Say local edit, pick up, and now I'm going to delete the file like undeployment. This is called undeployment. Okay. changes. Now again select edit. I'm going to install it. Okay, and upload your file where your source file is there. On the desktop, I have benefits.var file. Open it and say next. Benefits.var file is there. So you copy it into upload directory and deploy it as a application. And see here all servers in the cluster. If you make it this one, so the best thing is to do like this. So then tomorrow if I add any server into the cluster, okay, so it's going to take that property. If you say that part of this cluster, so tomorrow if you add MS3, it is not going to copy into that MS3. If you want to have like that, like in future if I add any class, any managed server in the cluster, so then that application should be running on another managed server too. MS3, you choose the first option like all servers in the cluster, irrespective of whether they are physically available now or not. Okay, and then next. Okay, and say finish. And activate changes. Now say start the application. So from new it goes to active.
పండుకోవచ్చు కదరా 11:30 అయింది.
Good testing. So those are not running. Okay, so it is actually in new mode. Okay, so this is how you are going to do it. But your actual way how to see the cluster, so that becomes available only when you do a multi-node and you should configure them into proxy. Okay, so how we do it, we will do it later, integrate with this Apache. Okay, so when we integrate this Apache server with Apache, then irrespective of whatever the things are there, so you will get to, you don't know that which managed server it is going to do. So although your MS1 is down, your application will be running on MS2. So that is how your actual, the clients will be getting the URLs. So you will do a proxy to them and they are going to use them. Okay, so so this is the concept. So tomorrow we'll see, in the middle of the process, if your one managed service is down, how that is actually been handled. Important thing, so that's why I'm skipping it today. So we'll do that one on Monday. Okay, so any doubts guys, today's class? If you see here, go to cluster, I forgot to tell you. In the cluster, you can see that default load algorithm is there, round robin algorithm is there, and also go to monitoring, and you will see that the status of your managed servers. Now what I'm going to do is here.
చాలింగా కోపం
చెప్తే నేను
Hello. See here, it's actually doing clusters. So if you see here, server MS1, the cluster.
అనిల్ అని కొట్టాలి ఏంటి నవ్వుతున్నావు చెప్పే క్లాస్ ఇన్ అంటే డ్రీమ్స్
Servers are actually server started in admin mode. So right, the other day I have discussed with you that it has failed to deploy your application. Okay. See here. Failed deployments. So I think there is some problem with the application. So instead of that one, so that's why it came into admin mode. That means in interviews they will ask you that why your application server start only in admin mode. This is the scenario. Like when your application is deployed, at the deployment it is failed, it goes into admin mode. So what you can do is click on here. Okay, go to control. And this one, start. Okay. So not manager is not there. We'll try to start it again. We'll see. Manager not reachable. What is reachable? What I'm going to do is here, go to control. Admin. Resume. Going to see if it is to start. Check the log here. So it is trying to deploy an application for before we have used some applications. It's failing that one. Now somehow it has started. Okay. So if there is an issue with the deployment, it is going to throw an error. Okay. So if you see here, go to the application now for deployments. It is active, fine. Now, so go to the clusters, which I want to show you clusters. Click on the cluster. Go to monitoring. You see here, where local leader is MS1. So the leader will be there because we have implemented as a class unicast. So the group, so suppose now we started MS2 also, the group will become MS1, MS2, and the local leader will be over MS1. Okay, so this is how you will be having. Suppose if you do MS2, MS3, so randomly it is going to jump from one manage server to another manage server if they are down. Okay, as you can see, now that it is active. Okay. So you can't actual processing concept here because you don't have so you don't have proxy. So, but we'll see at the end of the course logic. So we'll see a complete end-to-end creation of multi-node. From there, we'll make two machines. From two machines, we'll make a cluster and we'll deploy it onto that cluster and we'll create a proxy. And everything we'll do. It takes 2 days time to set up the environment. So we'll do it at the end of the course. Okay. Guys, any doubts for today's class?
బాగా చెప్తున్నా చిన్న.
So if you see here, so you will be having the so that is at the hardware level. This is my So see, the load balance, as you know that you have a Apache, that's what you are asking, or you want take the external load balance. So there can be two scenarios, right? On what basis the other server should be, because you should know that okay, external is there, but from the external it will be sent to from external it is going to come to your software load balance, which is Apache. Apache should be integrated with your will be integrated with your cluster, right? Cluster is going to the Apache is going to find which is actually having the load balance and send to that one. So for its purpose, the cluster should be integrated. So you can't see the load balance availability things here, but you will see when you integrate your clusters with your Apache. But they are not going to do anything. Okay, you will be having external load balance is there. One second, there is a so see here, this is my one of the production box, production logical architecture. So see here you have a physical load balance is there, okay, and from there your load software load balance are there like your Apache or OHS, and they are going to be integrated with your the clusters. So you have a server clusters and ADF cluster and a BAM cluster. Okay, so they are integrated with your OHS, and OHS is actually in with external load balance. This is your we say hardware load balancer, external load balancer. Here we use big IP. So from there, your request is sent to your software load balancers, which are your web servers like your WebLogic or your Apache or your OHS, whatever it is. So from there, it will be sent to your clusters. I mean, the cluster will be integrated with your Apache, and Apache knows what machine is running with high load and what machine is running with a low load, with a less load. Okay, so that is how you are going to balance your the load on the managed servers. Okay. Guys, do you have any questions? Okay then. Okay then guys, see you on Monday. So we say that the concept called session replication is there. So how been managed in case of the managed server failure. So if the managed server is failed at the certain point of your application, or your application is resumed onto separate another managed server, which is called your session replication. Okay, we'll see it on Monday. It's some interesting topic. So after we finish that one, we have left with some security things, security and your SSL configurations and performance tuning. But performance tuning we will discuss in SOA, not with your because it's part of your SOA. It becomes more interesting. So we'll see how to do the performance tuning there in SOA. Okay. Okay guys, I'll see you on Monday and have a nice weekend. I'm leaving. Bye.